themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. As we look at that verse, we notice the garden. They hid themselves from the presence of the Lord. The garden here is the representation of the presence of the Lord. The garden here, although a geographical location at that time, but it is a picture. It is a prototype of the presence of God. The garden is the covering of God. The prototype, the representation of the covering of God. The garden is the communion of God, because it says here, when they heard the voice of the Lord, the voice of the Lord that comes to communicate with them at the evening. When they hear the voice of the Lord that comes to communicate with them in the garden. Now you see, and they heard the voice of the Lord walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord and the Lord God among the trees of the garden. The garden is the communication of the Lord. The garden is the presence of the purity, of the righteousness, and the existence of God. So man sinned. And when man sinned, man was chased out of the Garden of Eden. So man lost the presence of God. So man lost the covering of God. So man lost the communication with God. So man lost the presence of righteousness and holiness with God. So man lost the coexistence, the existence, and the communication, the fellowship that he has with God. That is the picture of the garden at this time. At that time, it was a geographic location, which is a picture, which is a projection of the presence of God, the covering of God, the righteousness of God, the existence of God, the communication of God. So as we look at these verses, we see that man lost that garden because of disobedience. Because Adam and Eve was the first man on earth, their sin, their sinful nature was transferred to all humanity. Now we are looking at Romans chapter 3.